we're seeing in healthcare, the drug diversion is a critical topic with people, especially in the OR, anesthesia workrooms, and so forth, where they're needing to control and be sure the people that are responsible for managing the narcotics in the hospital have control of those narcotics all the way through the system.
Right.
So you guys have developed some products,
certainly. I mean,
that address that issue, correct?
Right. Even 25 years ago, that's what we were trying to address. We call it diversion, and we get better at it. One of the things that we see more and more is, unfortunately, there is more diversion.
Yeah.
There's more people trying to divert, and the end users or the hospitals come to us and say, okay, this is our problem. How can we address it better? What can you do for us? Whether it's through OEMs or they just discussions, when they call for help when they're not completely happy with their 20-year-old cards. They're looking for something more current like this.
Yes.
So what we'll say is, okay, well, do you have networking? I mean, networking is one of those current trends, which you offer a network card wisely. Right. And because that networking, people want to know exactly in real time when that door was open, when it was closed, who's going in. They want to be able to pull credentials. If someone retires or unfortunately someone were to be fired or just move on to another hospital group, that they want to be able to take their credentialing out of the system immediately. Whereas in the older carts, 20 years ago, that was unthought of. They would have to go to each cart, hook up to it with a USB with their laptop and pull that credential out. And in a hospital, a large hospital, they may have 1,000 carts, maybe more. And having to find 1,000 carts to do that is unthinkable today.
One by one.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's a big time.
Locating them is difficult.
Yeah.
So let alone actually the physical of going to each of them. Where now with networking, with this cart, if Joe Smith retires, they just put in, okay, Joe's retired, and we put his credential to sleep. He no longer can open the front door. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get in the building, because we know visitors get in the building.
Right.
But now what they've done is they've taken Joe's card and made it so it doesn't open this anymore. So when Joe walks up, he presents his card, it goes, brant, and nothing happens.
Right.
But the nice thing is, because they didn't take Joe's card out of the system, they only put Joe's card to sleep, took his access rights away. Now this device will be able to tell somebody used Joe Smith's card to try to open the cart.
Right.
So, and that's immediate.
Joe,
that's networking.
Right. Joe still lives. I mean, if Joe shows back up again, the cart's going to know, and it's going to tell.
Or someone has possession. It may not even be Joe, but at least we know, Joe's card. So it wasn't just a stranger with a card. We know specifically Joe's card somewhere. Maybe we should talk to Joe. So it's one of the small things, but it's immediate. Just like if, a door is left open or there's a problem with the card. With networking, you can get immediate notification.
So the basic operation of a controlled substance drawer cart for the OR is one credential, be that a numeric code or a badge, opens all the drawers but the top narcotics drawers. A secondary credential or badge needs to be entered to gain access to the narcotics drawer. So two people need to be present, or two codes need to be present in order to gain access to that, to the narcotics. So that really is it's a huge tight audit trail.
Yeah. Oh no, the audit trail is completely. It's 21 CFR Part 11, which is one of those things you hear.
Can this audit trail be modified?
No, and that's part of that CFR standard, and that is a big deal. I mean, it's not a new standard. It's something we've designed around for over a decade, also, but it's just now becoming more talked about.
Yep.
The audit trail is the accountability record of who was in this cart. And when and should they have been, and all those things. And the audit trail, as the audit trail is created, it's created. It's digitally set in stone. Wow. You can't change it, because otherwise you'd be rewriting the history.
Right.
That's not allowable. The whole idea of an audit trail is to show you exactly what happened when.
Right.
And that's it. There's no changes. You can just view it. One of the other things where that, again, we talk about the networking features become so popular these days is also, again, audit trails. So now you have your devices, your network carts like this can send an audit trail immediately to any email address. So
you can set a time for
exactly.
that to occur?
Whatever frequency, you can do it. You would never, but you could do it by minute. You could do it. Mostly people do every 24 hours, maybe once a week. But it doesn't have to be everyone the same frequency either. It could be, let's say, a pharmacy director. He wants to know daily or maybe every 12 hours. Whereas maybe someone else in the hospital, they're fine with once a week. Now, the report's going to be much larger for once a week than it would be.
Right.
But the nice thing is they're getting it automatically. It's emailed. They don't have to open it. They just know it's in their email. It may automatically be put to a folder, exactly. But then when they want it, they can go back and they have it. If they ever were audited, they have it. And it's a lot more comfortable going into an audit knowing that my audit trail is sound.
Yep.
And I don't have to worry about, oh, maybe somebody forgot to sign something.
Right.
There's no signing. It's done.
rote.
And especially if it's a card.
Yeah.
And, you know, with your cards, you could do card with PIN. So it's kind of hard to say, oh, it wasn't me. Right. Somebody must have had my card and my PIN.
But yeah,
yeah, exactly.
Very hard to challenge that.
Yeah, it's like if it was your card and your PIN, most likely, sir, it was you.
As we've been talking about this, there's clearly an IT component to this. So what might you offer to our IT customers, because they're a part of this decision, and when should they be brought in on a decision for a hospital to go to?
No, right in the beginning. And it's funny because we're talking about how busy a hospital is, and typically IT people are some of the busiest in a hospital. I mean, is the truth. I mean, they work in the background, but I deal with and work with them a lot, and they're very busy people. They usually have a stack of things to do this high, and they have to prioritize what they're going to do. So typically, we like to talk to them right in the front end, and for two reasons. One is because they're more comfortable with the product, and truthfully, once they either talk to us or talk to you and fully understand how easy it is to put this on the network, generally they become one of our proponents. And it is nice. It's nice when IT is on your side instead of IT, saying we don't have time, we don't have time. It says like, oh, that's easy. We can get that done quickly. And that really does help the process for all parties.
IT, it's easy to put up the barrier, like we don't want it on the network, but you guys have done all the legwork and have been doing this for so many years. And I've been on IT calls with your team.
Right. No, and it's more about security. Yeah. So the thing is, IT groups are vital when it comes to data security for a hospital. Right. I mean, most of us, and certainly even the staff at a hospital doesn't really think about that, because IT does such a good job of just taking care of that situation. Yeah. They're in the background, right? Unfortunately, they're not always touted like maybe they should be. Yeah. But the truth is, they are responsible for the security. So we have to make sure that our Wi-Fi devices, they're 256, they're enterprise level security. I mean, we don't have any trouble. DoD level, we're good to go. So as long as you are, whatever your standards are at a hospital, we meet them. I am certain. And if we didn't meet them, we would find a way to meet them with our devices. Whether it's upgrading our radios or upgrading the security in the radios, we haven't had trouble yet.